RDU 98.5, and welcome back to another audio antiquing. On today's show, Russell Brown has written an amazing article, Whitecliffs Family Festival for AudioCulture. Now, a little bit of a bio for people that might have no idea what this is about. Deirdre Lusby has never run or even worked on a music festival before. Her day job was raising 3 young children at Double D Appaloosa Ranch, the farm she owned with her husband John Horgrinnell on Whitecliffs Road, Colgate in Canterbury. But in 1982, she and John launched an event that would, under various names, most notably the Whitecliffs Family Festival, become one of New Zealand's longest running festivals. Now, Russell, how are you going this morning?
Oh, very good. Thank you.
So give us a little bit more, about this family festival. Where did it originate? What was the time? What was going on?
Well, it was 1982 it started, and it is kind of interesting because it was one of the longest running music festivals in New Zealand, and no one really talked about it, these days. And I only found out about it, even though I grew up in Christchurch. I only really found out about it because I popped in on my neighbours one day, and one of Deirdre Lusby's friends was one of their mothers, and we got talking about festivals. I was just back from Splore, and I heard the story. I thought, oh my God, we should have something about that on audio culture. So I got hooked up with Deirdre, and it was an amazing story. And apart from anything else, it's a great untold story about a woman in music. You know, because Deirdre's late husband, John Hall Grinnell, or John Grinnell as he later became, um, was pretty well known. He was one of the most prominent country artists that we've produced.
Yeah.
Um, but no one knew who actually did all this. And it turned out it was Deirdre, who'd never done it before. Um, and it is it's kind of amazing. And what they were doing at the time was they had this place called Double D Appaloosa Ranch where they were breeding horses. Uh, but John was still playing music. She got involved by managing a group called the Gypsy Mountain Pickers, who are
Cool.
Americans who relocated here basically, and that turned into a festival, and it ran for 14 years. Um,
Wow.
so, and a lot of people went to this thing. It was at Colgate, which is inland from Christchurch in
Mm.
Selwyn district, and it was quite a remarkable event.
Oh, and I think that's really special what you were talking about before about, this is kind of a whole story about championing, a woman who's never done it before and she just got out there and she did it. And I think a quote that I think is actually really funny that you've put in here. Everybody danced in the mud on the first night, but I felt sorry for the people in their tents in the rain. I drove around the camp in the morning with an urn in the back and said, would anyone like a hot drink? And then after the last act, I said, come backstage and we'll all have a drink. And you've put this amazing photo of just all these people. Some of them are even in their swannies and they're all in the mud. And I just think that's really, really cool. And it's saying, spirits were high. What do you think is the big, I guess, separation from festivals like this back in the day to these new festivals, which I'll admit are quite, I personally feel very drug and alcohol like influenced compared to just vibing?
Yeah, yeah, no, there was a lot of the vibing at this one too, but it actually, as it went on, and they had a few more rock bands playing, they started to get a few more drunks, and they didn't want
Ah,
that, so they actually
yeah.
dialed back the rock music, and
Fair.
it went back to being much more country and folk.
Cool.
Um, and they were inspired by a previous festival called Nambassa that John had played at, which
Right.
was much, much more of a hippie festival
Cool.
with a lot of nudity. Um, I, I think we lose track of
The hippie
of
and the
how
nudist speak.
the oh my God, the boomer generation, they were forever getting their clothes off in the 70s. Um, you know,
True, true.
which was fun for Nambassa, but
Yeah,
not so much for a family festival in rural Canterbury. So
no.
they had to tell one person not to. Um, and one of the it's interesting. One of the first acts that played there was the Top Twins,
Oh,
and,
incredible.
and there's this wonderful story about them. I mean, they arrived and didn't expect anything much. You stuffed their own pillows. Well, they made their own pillows out of wool sacks stuffed with straw, which they were completely happy with. And
Yeah.
they're doing that. And the neighbouring farmer comes over and yeah, it's like, oh my God, we've got a shearing shed emergency.
Yeah.
And the tops jump up. Yeah, we're good.
Yep, there we go.
And so they go over and spend the afternoon, wrangling sheep and doing every job in the shearing shed, hugely impressing this farmer who had no idea who they were.
Right.
So he comes over the next day and he sees them on stage and goes, oh, it's those two girls who were great in the shearing shed.
It's the Top Twins. Where are they?
Yeah, and they actually became really good friends at the festival. I think they played 3 times. And
Wow.
the article on AudioCulture, there's a guest book with their tributes, to
Yeah.
how much they enjoyed the festival.
Oh, I just think it's so special because even in an interview I did last week, we were talking about the Top Twins and how they were actually really close with Nancy Keele, who's another rock artist from from Christchurch. I just think it's so special how they've always seemed to be in these really random places, just being their most authentic selves. Oh, it's
Yeah,
incredible.
absolutely. Yeah, and it's just such a great story
Yeah.
that they're the ones who jump up and go over and sort out the shearing
The
shed
Sherry,
emergency.
trust the Top Twins, hey.
Yeah, yeah.
But another thing that I think is actually really special about the Whitecliffs Family Festival is the most famous guest was a surprise even after she started playing. In 1984, That's Country brought the one and only country legend Emmylou Harris out to Whitecliffs Festival as a part of a documentary that was being made about her. That's incredible to have someone of that
And
caliber.
oh, totally. And the great thing is that they hadn't announced her, and because she'd actually changed her hairstyle,
Mm,
because she was well known for having this long, dark, straight hair, and
yeah.
she'd had it sort of curled, and no one realised it was her until she started singing.
Wow.
Yeah. And also, I can say that, and there's a bit of a queue, so it might be a little while, but that documentary actually still exists at the Film and Television Archive, and we've put our request in, so that will turn
Oh,
up at some point.
that's really
There's
exciting.
all these gems there. Yeah, I mean, the thing about that archive is you kind of need to know what you're looking for.
Yes.
So now that we know what we're looking for,
Mm.
request went in. Yeah, it's still there. So that'll be quite fun to see as well.
Oh,
I imagine some RDU listeners might see their parents in it.
yeah, probably. Probably. Or some other you listeners might see themselves.
Yes, yeah, true.
Ah, and in 1995, the pioneering outdoor dance party In Train moved from Takaka to Whitecliffs for a year, and in October 1997, the site hosted the Gathering Christchurch, a warm up for the main Gathering event near Nelson. Can you talk a little bit more about this because apparently this one has had featuring Lady Six, Shapeshifter, Tiki Tane, King Kapisi, so a lot of the new big artists, I guess, from Aotearoa.
Yeah, well, John and Deidre had 4 kids, and they were all musical.
Oh,
Uh,
beautiful.
and that included Redford Grinnell, who was the founding drummer in Shapeshifter,
Wow.
and his brother Oakley then went on to put on the dance parties on the same site, and so the site actually had a really long life. Even after the family festival ended, it became a really important place for this whole new wave of music.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it is, and it's one of those stories that it's like, shit, someone should tell this.
Yeah.
So now we have. I mean, the response has been amazing.
Oh, beautiful.
You actually realize how many people have memories of that place,
Mm,
but it had never really been all put together in one place before. So
yeah. And that's why it's so important, that there are people like you, Russell, that are out here, having these beautiful articles for audio culture because it's also really important, I feel, for the youth as well to actually be knowledged on, the people that have come before them, new artists to actually understand and, these like new festivals that appear. It's like, oh, you really got to think about the forefathers before you that really did the hard mahi to get some stuff off the ground.
Yeah, and also just to appreciate how many other things this
Yeah.
story connects to. Um,
Yep.
there was the publicity person who came aboard, and they were all basically working for very little or volunteering.
Mm.
Barb Cuttance met the sound guy, Mike Waldegrave, um, who was ran the PA systems from the beginning, and they got together and took over a little talent quest that they turned into Smoke Free Rock Quest.
No way. No way. Oh my
So
gosh.
there's that connection there as well.
Mental.
Yeah, it is extraordinary how many things this connects to, and you don't realize it until you actually look closely.
And it's why we need it, Russell. We need more people like you putting
Yeah,
the
well,
pieces.
also, it's a good lesson, and do pop in and visit your neighbours because that's how
Yeah.
I found out about this. One of my neighbours' mums was visiting, and we had a glass of wine, and I was, oh, okay, this is interesting.
You're like, wait a second. Hey, hey.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for your time today, Russell. Talking about the Whitecliffs Family Festival article you've written for Audio Culture. Really appreciate your time and all of your wisdom.
Cheers, and look out for that video at some point as well.
You got it. We've got to stay tuned. We'll make sure when that video comes out, we'll give that out to the RDU crew.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Russell.
Cheers.
RDU 98.5 FM. That has been another Audio and Teking. I just had a lovely chat with Russell Brown, who wrote the article Whitecliffs Family Festival, which you can find on audioculture.co.nz.